Hello, my name is Kevin. I am a lawyer with 15 years of experience, and now I will tell you what to do if you face disqualifiers during a Lyft background check. The process of carrying out a Lyft background check is a mandatory step that every single one of the people aspiring to be a driver in Lyft should undertake so as to ensure their safety and to ensure the safety of customers, including the company. Let us carry out a step-by-step guide that will help every potential driver to pass through the background check successfully and reduce the chance of a refusal. Presentation of documents. Be sure to check for the correct placement of your full name, residential address, and date of birth and other personal information while inputting them. Any wrong entries may lead to a stop or even a refusal of further consideration. Preparation of documents needed. Ensure you have all required documents in place before submitting your application for consideration in Lyft. This includes having an up-to-date driver's license, being registered to a vehicle, and having a car insurance policy. Those documents should be up to date and in line with the requirements of the state and Lyft. How long does Lyft background check take? After making the application and sending the required documents, the background check could have taken anything between several days to several weeks. The time taken to get the check done depends on the variables that are given to the process, of which the load on the system of checking and specific legislations prevailing in the state come up. Checking the status of your application. A candidate may check the status of his background check using the official Lyft site in the personal dashboard or even from the mobile app. If Lyft background check still pending, then there is no harm in calling up customer support to get an update about the same. It must be noted that Lyft background checks are not a guarantee for every candidate. Lyft very carefully checks up on every single candidate that applies, and this is based on some criteria, which may range from a history of driving to criminal history and others, without necessarily being limited to the mentioned. Refusal may be given for different reasons, such as serious traffic violations or other factors that may influence the safety of the passengers and the image of the company. And so, once they have put in the effort to acquire the necessary preparations, even those candidates will very likely have an opportunity to up the chances of them successfully undertaking a background check that would enable him to work as a driver in Lyft. How Lyft does their fingerprint scans. Lyft is currently offering fingerprint scans to its drivers. This process is extensive and multi-step, aimed at achieving both legal and corporate requirements. In this case, Lyft will provide a brief overview of what Lyft does in facilitating the process of fingerprint scanning their drivers. Below is a more detailed review of how Lyft determines candidates for a fingerprint scan. Gathering the information. There will be a form of a personal identity survey, asking the candidate for biographical details, identification documents, contact details, date of birth, social security number, in order to get the accurate and comprehensive result for the fingerprint scan. Such information is very relevant in conducting a thorough and holistic investigation. Checking the driving history and violations of the law. Lyft verifies all of the driving history, list, and penalties from driving from previous years for such serious violations like driving under influence, abandoning the place of a DTP accident, getting his driver's license suspended. It also reviews minor violations and their count. Criminal check, after which a criminal background check is conducted. Lyft collaborates with services providing, among other things, checker background check Lyft. They would check national and local criminal backgrounds. Reviewable are criminal records, which would comprise, but not limited to, violent crimes, burglaries, drug offenses. Sexual offenses check. Still essential in this aspect is confirming whether the individual is on record for sexual offenses. All these precautions by Lyft will attempt to guarantee the passenger's safety and the non-admission of individuals having committed such crimes into service as the drivers. Notification and process. After all the processes are done, the results are passed to the candidate. It is under Lyft background check denied that one gets details on why the candidate had not been accepted and, at the same time, information on how one can opt for a review or making improvements in case of such detection. Monitoring and updating the data. Lyft also conducts regular monitoring on the status of the license holder's driving and also checks for any new car accident records. This ensures that there is no break at all in the checkup of safe passenger services. Driver background monitoring required Lyft. Together with background monitoring and Lyft, this is a complex procedure that seeks to derive potential threats and ensure a high level of safety and trust with its customers. The company uses information from the audit not only for the initial hiring of drivers, but also for regular monitoring of the driver and checking against the company's standards for safe operation. The requirements for Lyft background check. The following are some of the most important criteria to meet in a background check on Lyft drivers. A clean driving history. It must be clean and free of serious infringements like drunk driving, fleeing the scene of an accident, losing your license, severe accidents. Criminal history. This is very important. There should be no criminal history associated with the candidate, especially relating to violent crimes, thefts, drugs, and sexual crimes. Age and experience driving. Candidates should be at least the minimum age requirement, usually 21 years or older, and have some level of experience driving, which ranges from minimums to maximums depending on the state. Licensing and car registration and insurance. The applicant should have a valid driver's license, a valid vehicle registration, and a valid car insurance policy in compliance with Lyft and the state's law. Following local laws and regulations. There is a need for compliance with all local law requirements in naming, not only on-road compliance but also on what includes car engineering and its repairs. Drug and alcohol testing. In some cases and situations, Lyft may have to undertake testing for drugs and alcohol, as stated in the local laws and sometimes incorporated as part of job hunting. Education and training. Though not always, a minimum level of education or training may be an asset in passing the company's background check. These requirements help ensure that Lyft's drivers can handle the job safely and effectively. One of the most important things is to let people know about their local laws and requirements, so that when making an application, candidates can be aware of them. Top reasons for Lyft background check denied. Recognizing the most common reasons will help candidates to avoid similar situations in the future. Below are the most basic factors that may cause a denial during a background check. Serious violations of traffic rules. These include driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, fleeing the scene of an accident, or revocation of driving privileges. Such violations serve as the credible basis for being regarded untrustworthy and a risk to other road users. Criminal past. Having a serious criminal record, including violent crimes, thefts, narcotics-related crimes, and sexual offenses, may be a ground for refusal. Mismatched, incorrect data. Mistakes or inconsistencies in the information provided may have caused problems in carrying out the background check or left some doubt with regard to the correctness of the given information. Lack of experience. According to Lyft, an applicant must have a certain minimum experience of driving in order to start working. A lack of experience can cause a denial of employment. Problems with the driver's license. The renewal date of the driver's license might already be passed, or there may be some other issues with the driver's license, such as lack of the correct category or others. These may impact the decision to hire. History of narcotics and alcohol offenses. Where one has a history of narcotics or alcohol offenses, this could easily be rated as a risk to the safety of passengers, hence being used as a risk against one. Understanding these factors and, in turn, taking the necessary steps in order to avoid or minimize their occurrence can bring with it a chance of passing the background check by Lyft. If the denial has already been received, then it is necessary to analyze the reasons behind it and find out if they can be corrected or appealed against. Lyft gives information on refusal and instructions on how to appeal, thus giving candidates an opportunity to make the necessary moves towards a second application in the future. The merits of approaching our law firm. There are some good reasons to approach us if you run into complications with Lyft's background check. Special expertise in FCRA. We specialize in protecting the client's rights under FCRA legislation. No charges for our clients. Our services are for you, free of charge. In case of a successful outcome, payment for them is at the cost of the losing party. With the proven experience. Every new case added to our portfolio, one more example of our success and the trust of our clients, adds more fuel to our passion. High damage. We will help you get the rightful compensation for the violation of your rights, all including big payoffs. If you are going through trouble with the Lyft background check, or you think that your rights have been violated, come to us for professional help. Real stories about Lyft background check status. We present 5 real stories about people who have faced problems in background checks by Lyft, which reflects the importance of careful preparation and the possibility of getting legal aid. Identification issues. A man named John from Texas encountered the problem of Lyft background check still pending. The reason for the delay was erroneous identification, which referred to look-alike features and facts of another person. He wrote to the lawyers and corrected them, and immediately his application was approved. Untrue records of convictions. Sarah from California received an application rejection due to the fact that there was some supposed conviction in her past, which in fact was non-existent. With the help of our lawyers, she managed to prove her innocence, and the background check was successfully passed. Michael's problem with driving records. Michael from Florida is not able to become a Lyft driver, as on the grounds of an error in his driver's records, there is supposedly a violation, misidentified, which he does not have any. Lawyerly help corrects this, and Michael finally receives approval to drive. Disputes about previous places of residence. Elizabeth from New York experienced a delay in her background check that was resultant from a question as to where she had lived before. The situation was resolved due to our help, and Elizabeth began work at Lyft. System overload causing delays in proving process. Tomas from Illinois, one time that he applied, the results of his Lyft background check did not show up because the system was overloaded. He was able to resolve it with our lawyers, which were able to find a solution for him, and he successfully drove a Lyft vehicle. The stories underline the fact that background check issues necessitate thorough preparation and the assistance of professional lawyers for addressing any problems that occur during the course of the check. Our legal company is prepared to supply all necessary support and help in such questions to guarantee the protection of your rights and interests. Contact us. The procedure of background screening is a means to ensuring the safety and reliability of the services that Lyft offers not only to its driver members, but also to passengers. The article has discussed important steps to help prospective drivers successfully navigate this process, and at the same time, we have uncovered common reasons for denials and how to correct them. Our law firm offers assistance at every stage, from getting ready for a background check to protecting you in case of unjust denial or screening failure. If you face the difficulties passing a Lyft driver background check, have experienced an unjust denial, or seek professional legal services in anything about background checks, don't hesitate to reach out to us. The lawyers at our firm are well equipped with a wealth of knowledge and experience to handle these kinds of situations in a way that will really work in achieving the results you are looking for. Don't let the problem you are facing stand in your way of realizing success as a Lyft driver. Contact us today to get our help on overcoming your background check problems and starting a new phase in your career. Our contact information is in the description. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Take care and succeed.